but his diminutive stature, as well as gnarled limbs, disguised the threat of his strength and cunning. To anyone else, Cecil appeared to be nothing more than an old, crippled slave. But he was not only my personal trainer. He was my fiercest protector, my wisest adviser, and my most trusted friend. He was the only one who could address me, the Earl of Ulster's daughter, without my title of Lady Olivia. No one else dared such informality. Tucking my helmet under my arm, I grabbed my weapon belt, which contained the sword Cecil had crafted especially for me. Lightweight, yet powerful. I didn't have time for the gauntlets for my hands, or the sabatons to cover my leather boots. "Return to the captain," I said to the soldier waiting in the doorway. "Instruct him to distract the enemy in the inner bailey, and hold them off as long as possible, so that I might take Lady Isabel to safety." He bowed his subservience before spinning and stumbling back the same direction he'd come, his armour clanking with each laboured step. I would need every second the knights could give me. As if sensing the same, Cecil was already hobbling across my chamber to the boudoir that led to the inner door connecting my chambers to Izzy's. As I entered the private room I used for bathing and dressing, I inhaled the sweetness of lavender and roses scattered among my many garments to keep them from taking on the scent of the damp and musty castle walls. I followed Cecil past the massive walnut armoire and matching dressing table, and past the locked chest that held all my jewellery. Did I have time to take a few of the most precious items? Perhaps the jewels that had belonged to my mother, the only links I had left to the gentle and kind woman who had died shortly after Izzy's birth, nearly 15 years ago, when I'd been only 3. Father had married twice thereafter. His second wife had borne him a long-coveted son, but she died a year later. His childless third wife, the current Countess of Ulster, had mothered Charles as if he were her own. The Countess was cold and formal, and treated Izzy and me like foreign guests. In spite of her lack of warmth, I did appreciate her devotion to my half-brother, especially because at 6 years of age he was sickly and in need of constant attention, which she willingly gave him. At least they were safe at Wigmore Castle, my father's principal seat of residence. "My mother's jewels," I called to Cecil, stopping next to the chest. "I shall take the most precious." Cecil shook his head, as I'd suspected he would. "We don't have time." I pictured several pieces of my mother's jewels. My favourite was the circular gold brooch, studded with emeralds, the one my mother had often worn to pin her cloak closed. She'd told me the vibrant green was the same shade as my eyes, and just as beautiful, the only aspect of my appearance I'd inherited from her. Everything else about me resembled father. My determined temperament, red hair, fair skin and striking features. Still, my numerous suitors would have vied for me, even if I'd been as ugly as a mule. Along with my father's wealth and land, he was one of the most powerful magnates of the Marches, which made me a prized catch among the nobility. During the past year of playing the courtship game, I'd known as well as father where my future lay. With Lionel Lacy. Ahead, Cecil was entering Izzy's chambers and calling sharp instructions to her maidservant. My attention dropped to my jewellery chest again. At the very least, I should save the bracelet Lionel had recently given me. The Lacys were another powerful Marcher family. Uniting the families in marriage would strengthen